Bitcoin right now testing two huge key areas of resistance while having 5 bullish targets. On the short-term charts, pulling Bitcoin like a magnet as we watch these short-term charts. The question, at least on my mind, will those magnets work? What's up, everyone? Welcome to Crypto Capital Venture. Hit that like, hit that subscribe on the way in. Let's jump into the Bitcoin video. Before we even dig in and we talk about everything happening on this hourly chart, all of these bullish targets that you see plotted here, I just want to point something out to you on the monthly. Welcome to the bull market, everybody. And if we're zooming out, we're kind of looking at the RSI, the momentum of Bitcoin, where we are. If we're kind of comparing it to last bull market, I mean, we're right around here in terms of the cycles. And this is back in 2017. You can even see on this momentum oscillator, the slower moving momentum oscillator, the RSI, Bitcoin right around the same area. A ton of room for macro momentum. If you look at the quicker moving momentum oscillator down here, the stock RSI kind of just getting started. You can see how long Bitcoin was just in that overbought area on the momentum oscillator back then, this stock RSI, Bitcoin so much in terms of upside. There's just demand, and this is supply shock as we see this post-halving effect. And there is so much going on. There's so much to be said for potential that this bull market might last even a little longer than the last one, but that's for another video. So as Bitcoin kind of hovers around $47,000, breaking even on the short term to the downside, right? We have this slow consolidation to the downside. What can we anticipate for Bitcoin? So let's go over here, and I'm going to break each one of these things down, and I'm going to do it quickly for you. First off, resistance. 1618 resistance, number one, around just above 50,000. 1618 resistance, number two, 47,000. And we're there now. And we've talked about this leading into this resistance area back here. You might remember I did a video talking about let's anticipate sideways trading now as we hit this key Fibonacci 1618. And all that Fibonacci 1618 resistance is, both of those, is two areas. It's the 42,000 swing high to swing low, back up to the 1618, and then this lower high to same swing low, back up to this other 1618. And that forms the resistance channel that Bitcoin is in right now. And it's a big resistance, everybody. There's room for downside. Truly there is. I'm not going to talk about those targets in this video, but this is the area that will likely create the resistance. If Bitcoin does bounce to the downside, it's going to be probably because of this exact resistance area. 1618 higher high resistance areas are real, and that's what we're testing right now. But there's some good news for the bulls. So if you go to just CoinMarketCap and you're looking at Bitcoin comparable to other altcoins right now, there's a lot of altcoins just up, doing their thing. And often when this happens, Bitcoin consolidates, is taking a break. And there's a lot to be said in terms of a potential breakout getting ready to happen on Bitcoin, very similar to the end of December in that upward consolidation move that we saw back then. So going back to this chart, what are the magnets? So just above 50,000, we have this falling wedge, and we're going to talk about that in like a minute. But beyond that, we have a symmetrical triangle number one, just above 55,000. We have a rising wedge just above 55,000. We have a symmetrical triangle number two above 51,000. And we have a $1 trillion market cap, perhaps the greatest magnet of all, just above 53,000. Everybody has their eyes on that area, and Bitcoin is very close. Like, I know we're at $47,000 area right now, but Bitcoin only a 15% move or so away from a $1 trillion market cap, and even less so in terms of these bullish targets that we see here. Now, I want to discuss this falling wedge target, 50,145 or so. If we go to the hourly, this is the move on the very short term. I'm talking the hours ahead. I'm talking today, that we want to see the next 12 hours, potentially 24 hours. We want to see a breakout out of this falling channel. We want to see Bitcoin hit this 50,000 plus target to the upside, because in doing so, Bitcoin will be finally testing truly this other 1618 resistance. Now, if Bitcoin hits this short-term target on the hourly chart, we will be testing still resistance. But these are stepping stones. This is why we do technical analysis, so we can wait for these confirmations. We're looking for Bitcoin to break this 1618 still at the bottom, visit this 1618 at the top, another resistance. And in doing so, Bitcoin will be breaking through this short-term falling channel for that first stepping stone. If we start zooming in on the charts, we start seeing, okay, well, here's the story potentially being written on the midterm, which is we have this rising wedge. Remember, with a $55,000 target, this would be Bitcoin breaking out of this falling wedge, boom, breaking up through to the targets, hitting that resistance on the 1618, potentially trading sideways, boom, move to $55,000. And we know what's going on in the daily because we've tracked this chart so much. Two targets there, just above 51,000, close to 52, and the other just above 55,000. And these are these two symmetrical triangles that we've talked so much about on this YouTube channel all the way back here. And this is playing out. I mean, these things take time. We just broke this upper trend line beginning of February. This is a daily chart. So these things truly take time. You know, we talk about the downside. Again, I'm not going to just sit here and just discuss this too much, but just in terms of that potential, we know that swing low of that symmetrical triangle to potentials or to this current swing high consolidation, there's always room for throwbacks. 60+% of the time, Bitcoin actually does throw back to trend lines that it's broken out of. So it's there. The potential is there for a $10,000 dip. You just know that can happen. So I'm not going to spend a ton of time talking about that, but it's in play. And then if we go back to this hourly chart, all up in here, right, is just this $1 trillion market cap. The case for Bitcoin breaking up to that area starts right here on the zoomed in hourly chart. It's crazy to watch just Bitcoin, all this confluence on the micro and macro charts, and $47,000, just truly a huge 1618 resistance for Bitcoin. But this is what I'm tracking on the short term. I really wanted to just kind of throw it out there. We're going to see if Bitcoin can get that move. But I'm telling you, when we see altcoins and you just scroll down CoinMarketCap and you see a bunch of altcoins doing some, you know, really nice moves in the last 24 hours, and 7 days. And if you go to the hourly chart, Bitcoin has been consolidating, you know, for some time, right? Here's 2 days worth of consolidation. And if we're going back to this swing high February 9th, 4 days ago, we're looking at just Bitcoin just really trading within like this 10% range. And let's face it, that's kind of boring price action for Bitcoin. So this breakout is what I'm watching. On the very short term, I do want to note the bottom trend line here. There's really two trend lines. The bottom trend line of this falling channel, confluent with this green rising trend line of the rising wedge. Right now, that confluent support right in that $46,000 range for Bitcoin. But this is kind of that dip scenario that might freak people out a little bit, but doesn't necessarily mean it's the end of a potential bullish move. This last swing low to swing high on that wedge, this green wedge support area, I could totally see Bitcoin just wicking into that, getting scooped up, continuing to the upside. Bitcoin really has been making moves like that as of lately. And just to give you an idea, it's really not that big of a move. If Bitcoin were to, it's like a 4 to 5% move down to like $44,000. And just Bitcoin, and it's a good test because Bitcoin has been getting bought up very quickly in those dips. And so the test will be, does that support hold? Do we get that bounce? And then can we continue really to all of these bullish targets that are just in store for Bitcoin? Time will tell. Let's see if the bullish magnet works. This is what I'm tracking today, Saturday, February 13th. I appreciate you tracking it with me. I appreciate you cruising by. Hit that subscribe, hit that like. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.